If you're new to fountain pens or even just a few pens in and still figuring things out, this video is going to save you some serious frustration and probably some money too. I made a lot of mistakes when I started out, the kind you don't realize are mistakes until you've stained your hands with ink or worse, ruined a perfectly good nib. So today I'm sharing my top 5 mistakes I made as a fountain pen beginner, plus what I do differently now that I've learned a thing or two. And if you stick around, you might just avoid doing the exact same things I did. Let's start the video. Hey friends, welcome back to Pens and Pondering. Or if you're new here, I'm Freddie and I talk all things fountain pens, stationery, and journaling. Today's video is a bit of a trip down memory lane. I've been in the fountain pen world for almost a year now, exactly a year next month. And while I've immersed myself into this hobby, learned so much and so quick, I definitely had some moments where I went, oh, bleep, insert your curse word. That was not the best choice. So I wanted to share the 5 biggest mistakes I made when I first got into fountain pens, and more importantly, what I do differently now. So if you're new to the hobby, this might save you a little frustration, and if you've been around the block like me, maybe you'll relate, or maybe you'll just laugh with me at my past chaos. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1. Buying pens based on looks alone. So, confession time. I totally fell for the shiny object syndrome, but who hasn't? I'd scroll through Instagram or watch a YouTube video and see this absolutely gorgeous pen, swirly resin, maybe some glitter or pastel tones, and I'd instantly be like, I need that. I wasn't even thinking about the nib or the grip section or even the size. It's just pure aesthetics. Let's not kid ourselves. We all fell for it. I actually have past videos where I proudly admitted that. These pen companies know exactly who their demographics and they know which product would grab their attention. Or at least mine. So, but don't get me wrong though, I still love a beautiful pen. I mean, I've got Leonardo's that I still stare at sometimes like it's art. But the difference now is that I also think about whether it'll fit into my actual usage. We all write differently. You have to think about the angle of your hand, the pressure, the way you position your fingers, even your arm. There's so many factors that can affect your penmanship. So getting a pen based on looks without accounting these little details can definitely play a big part of how often will you use the pen. What would I do differently now? So based on my personal experience, I would start by trying pens that are recommended for comfort and performance. I think that's my number 1. See what nib sizes you like. Most pens come in different sizes and different people have different usage or tastes. So do not ignore that. Hold the pen. Most important thing, write with it. That's the reason why you bought the pen in the first place. See if it fits in your hand. Check the weight and the balance. Does it go well with your writing style? Check if it posts well, you know? And then if everything checks out, then go for the pretty ones. Basically, be more mindful and strategic when purchasing pens. Because whether you want to admit it or not, fountain pens are not cheap. Shit. Especially the good ones. It's practically an investment. And because pen can look amazing and fabulous and still collect dust if it doesn't feel good to write with, correct? So trust me, I have a whole set to prove that. So in terms of pens that checks out for me, it's no secret my love for Leonardo's and Esterbrook's, and that is no longer solely on the design alone. I've developed that trust now that I know I will use it again and again because it's comfortable and goes so well with my writing style. At the same token, there are some pens that I would probably not purchase anymore, but never say never. At the moment, what is not resonating with me are pocket pens. Though I still own 12 Kavecos and owned past 10s, Sailor Pro Gear Slims, it just wasn't for me, or it's not for me. I kept the Kavecos because I use them for certain things. Otherwise, I would not instinctively reach out for that pen. Another good example of the shiny pen syndrome is the Benu pens. I like Benus for their unique designs. I really do. It's gorgeous, but it's not comfortable for me. I don't know why. I know a lot of people love their Benus, and I 100% love that for you, but it's not for me. Sorry. For now, at least. You'll never know. You'll never know. Maybe I'll like it tomorrow. You'll never know. Also, I hate to admit this, but I'm also a size queen with pens. My number one rule with pen is posted, right? Posted, if it's smaller than 5.5 inches, hard stop. That's right. I will never get any pen that is smaller than 5.5. Let the jokes begin. Mistake number 2 is trying to fix the nib myself. Okay, I'm kind of embarrassed about this one. There was this one pen I had that felt a little scratchy out of the box. It was also doing some hard starts and some skipping. It was just a mess. But instead of being patient or testing it on different paper or maybe using a different ink, I just thought I could totally fix this. I've seen this on YouTube. It seemed easy, so I'll do it myself. So I went to Amazon and got me some fountain pen fine tuning kit. And that comes with a micro mesh and those brass thingies. I followed all directions from YouTube and web tutorials, tried every trick there is, Yeah, I definitely made it worse. Much worse. I didn't know anything about micro mesh, how to use them, like how much pressure you use. I don't know. And how a nib's tines can be slightly misaligned, or even that pressure and writing angle could completely change the way a pen feels. I was just a mess. So I tuned that pen so much so that now it doesn't even write. That would be this pen, the Benu. I forgot this one. It's the Thursday one from that collection. Forgot the name of the collection. It's a beautiful pen, but I never even used this because I couldn't. It just would not write from the beginning. So I tried fine tuning it. Yeah, I think I separated the tines so much because with that brass thing, now it doesn't even write. Oh. So I just need to keep reminding myself to get a replacement nib for this one. That's all. So what I know now, right? I don't want to make this longer than what it is. First, test your pens with different inks and paper combos. Very, very important. Actually, they even said that you should wash your pen or flush your pen before inking it the first time. I think I've heard that many times, actually. Because sometimes it's not even the nib. It's the environment. And by environment, the ink also plays a big part in my experience. Like a good example is the Esterbrook ST Coffee Monsters Co. I used a Robert Oster ink on this one the first time. It's actually Hollywood Smullet. I thought it was perfect, right? And Robert Oster has not failed me on any of my pens. Not yet, at least. Well, it did. Because that ink did not, this pen did not like that ink at all. Like I would get like it's not hard starts. Anytime I do a downstroke, it would just skip. Yeah, it's so aggravating to write. So I thought I had a faulty pen or a faulty nib, and I was already ready to return it. Um, but I tried it with a different ink. Well, I washed it so many times again, and then I tried with a different ink, a more wetter ink. I can't remember which one I used. Um, but yeah, after that, everything starts working perfectly fine. Yeah. I think it's just switching to that wet ink. And actually, I also thought that because I kept writing with it every day, so I felt that the nib conformed to my writing. And now I have zero problems with it, like zero. So, and honestly, you know what? If it is the nib, reach out to the retailer, you know, or the actual pen maker. You know, if let's say Leonardo, right? Like sometimes you can just skip the reseller and go straight to Leonardo, and they're actually very good. Their customer service is very good. They would accommodate you. Honestly, they would send you that. I mean, if it warrants, you know, resending you a brand new nib, then they would. You know, so and honestly, nibs are so cheap, so cheap. You can actually buy it. Um, but yeah, so nib work is a real craft. I will leave it to the professionals from now on, and my pens are much happier with it. This is the reason why we have nib meisters, right? Mistake number 3, I did not swatch or catalog my inks. Oh, inks. It's the most dangerous part of the fountain pen hobby. When I started, I bought inks on impulse, much like fountain pens. Like I'd see one shimmer ink swatched on Instagram with perfect lighting, and I'd instantly add it to my cart. I wasn't paying attention to dry time, feathering, or even whether it matched the pens I actually use. And honestly, because it is inexpensive, I don't even pay attention to the price. You know when you see those inking videos, by the way, and they do the smear test or the dry time test? I did not get that in the beginning. I completely ignored that part of the video because I was just mesmerized with the color of the ink. So I basically just buy it solely on the properties I saw in the video or the post. And I kept doing this for every single ink I get. And because I wasn't swatching or labeling anything, I had no clue what I owned. I'd accidentally rebuy similar shades or forget which inks clogged certain pens, and this is something I still struggle with actually. Can you imagine inking a whole pen and then have to flush it out because it was clogging? A mess. It was definitely a lesson learned for me. Like for instance, like this one right here, these two inks look exactly the same. Actually, I tested this in Tomorrow River paper, exactly the same. It was a mess. This is the Van Diemen Horn Midwinter, and this is the Robert Oster Hollywood Smollett. Exactly the same. And I think, oh yeah, this one too. These two, the Papier Plume Sepia and the Van Diemen's Kitten Paws, exactly this. Oh, not this one. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, no, these two, I'm sorry. These two are the same. Papier Plume Caramel and Van Diemen's Kitten Paws. But you know, it is what it is, right? These days, I swatch every ink I buy in my little cards and just a quick scribble and a label with the brand, color name. And I also have a database which I created in Notion where I note whether it's waterproof, shimmer, wet, dry, all that good stuff. I wasn't going to mention this because that will be my next video. So now that it's out of the bag, then stay tuned for that. It's actually a database for both my fountain pens and inks. So I also use it to track which inks I've used in which pens. That's super helpful for me when you're rotating inks and you want to avoid, ink disasters. However, tracking inks doesn't have to be a database. Even a basic system will save you so much time and money and sanity. So swatch your inks and do it on different paper too. I have several methods. Like I mentioned earlier, I use the cards just to give me an idea of the color. But I'm actually in the process of using these rings. This ring, the Colo ring. Um, Shout out to Miss Carmen, actually, my fountain pen mom. She's such a sweet lady. I just love her so much. I'm going to link her Instagram below, so please follow her. Uh, and as I mentioned earlier, it is also good to swatch them on paper where you would normally write. Like for me, it's the Tomorrow River paper because my journal uses Tomorrow River paper, and 80% of my writing is in my journal. So my journal is from Sterling Ink. So I bought a separate notebook from Sterling Ink to test the inks before I actually use it on the pen. So that's this notebook. I mean, you've seen this in other videos. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw this too. So yeah, um, I know it's duplicative, but it helps my sanity. So it works for me. There you go. Mistake number 4, not trying inks before committing to full bottles. Yes, this is also an ink mistake and very similar to mistake number 3, actually. You can even say it's a supplemental. But this one stings a little. When I first got into fountain pens, like I mentioned earlier, I was completely hypnotized by ink swatches. And, when you see that shimmer or that shifting of the color from green to purple, and then it comes in a beautiful bottle, oh my God, just take my money. Just take it. Just take it. I bought full bottles so fast just based on how pretty they looked in someone else's photo or video. And spoiler, a lot of those bottles barely used, because once I actually wrote with them, I was like, it's all right. Either the color wasn't what I expected, it didn't show up well on my paper, or it just wasn't something I reached out for regularly. So, I love fun inks, don't get me wrong, but I've learned I don't need to commit the whole bottle right away. So what's the solution? Samples. Woohoo! It's a total game changer. You get to actually live with the ink for a bit, see how it behaves, how it looks with your favorite nibs, whether you vibe with it or not. And honestly, sometimes inks just look way cooler online than they do when you're using them in real life. So it's a low commitment way of testing inks. So yeah, this is basically what I would do differently. I would grab samples. I probably would join ink swaps one day, or hit up the ink testing tables at pen shows, which I actually do plan when I go to DC and San Francisco this year. I have to figure out my actual preference. And I know I'm getting there. Like I have my shades that I tend to gravitate more now. Like I've learned I really love, which is funny because I like darker shades, but I like lighter blues. I like darker reds. I'm not a fan of pinks. I like earthy greens, and I love browns, like every shade of brown. So, and of course, like there's an occasional fun shimmer there, even though it clogs my pens and it's hard to clean. Sheen, I love. High sheening inks, I love. The new color verses, chef's kiss. Love it. But Yeah, like maybe the sheening and the shimmer maybe in moderation, because I don't get to use it as much, again, because it clogs and I have no patience for cleaning. But yeah, basically try before you buy, and trust me, your wallet and your ink drawer will thank you. Mistake number 5 is I ignored nib variety. Oh gosh, when I first got into fountain pens, I only used fine nibs. I thought they were the default, or anything broader would just be messy. But then I found out about medium nibs, or I tried medium nibs. Game changer. I felt my penmanship was so much better. The ink properties are more obvious. It was like I was writing with personality. It was just amazing to me. I definitely appreciate more, especially with journaling. I would still use fine nibs though for planners, but for long form writing, it's a medium for me. I'm slowly getting into the broad. If I'm not so chatty, or if I didn't feel like being chatty on my journal, I would use a broad. But now I have a mix of different nib sizes, right? I have the fine, I have medium and broad. And one day I'll probably try a stub. I don't think I can ever do an extra fine though. I do have an extra fine. I think this is the preppy. Yeah, there it is. It is extra fine right there. It's too fine. It's like writing with a needle. I also own some flex nibs. I have a journaler, a scribe, and an architect. And maybe by next week, I will have a cursive italic, which I'm so excited. It's courtesy of Jeffrey from Desert Inkwell. I link his channel in the description, so please follow him as well. It's my first pre-loved pen, and I cannot wait. Having different variety of grinds or sizes, journaling, note taking, and letter writing personally is way more fun. So what I would recommend is try out different nib sizes and shapes early on, even if it's through pen friends, pen shows, or nib swaps. You might find your writing style comes alive in a way you did not expect. Like, take that from me. And you do know you can switch nibs on most pens. Since most pens uses Yovo nibs, um, you can switch it around. So let's say, and I've done this. Let's say I want to use my Esterbrook scribe nib with a Leonardo, right? I can switch it because it's exactly the same fit. It's a number 6 Yovo. And who's going to know? And who is going to check you? Huh, right? It's your pen. You can do whatever you want. Or if you want to change your nibs from fine to medium or broad, there's so many pen sites that sells Yovo or Bach nib replacements for cheap. So I think this is one of the best things about owning a fountain pen. Your creativity can be endless, or you can simply customize your pen to your own liking. Love that. So those are the 5 biggest mistakes I've made when I first started using fountain pens. Honestly, I wouldn't change any of it. I think mistakes are part of the journey, and half the fun is learning as you go. I'd love to hear what your beginner mistakes were. Did you ruin a pen with the wrong ink? Or have you tried fine-tuning it by yourself? Or did you buy too many of something? Let's make it a judgment-free zone in the comments. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my next video, which is a great follow-up on this one, where I share how I organize my pen and inks using Notion. So happy writing, and thank you for watching. Bye.